Don't risk it! You need to take him alive! Courage! Get your little one! Careful! He's killed some tough fighters! Don't risk it! We need to bring him alive! Don't risk it! We need to take him alive! Careful! He's killed some tough fighter! Courage! Catch a little more!
Ah, nice ponytail.
Greetings.
Greetings, Vatgern. I'm glad to see you again.
Again?
Flotsam? The fire? Funny how these things work. I'll never forget that. Oh, unimportant. Needless to say, I'm deeply indebted.
Sorry.
No need to be. But I feel I should pay you back somehow. I've started anew here, you know. That always builds confidence. Sure I can't tempt you with something?
Wait a minute. Is this what I think it is?
It is if you want it to be. We elves might seem strange by your standards. You saved my life. A bit of joy as recompense is not too much to ask.
That's not necessary.
As you wish. Though you realize I'll not offer again.
Strange. It smells sulfur.
Do my eyes deceive me?
Witcher, I might have some work for you.
Did I hear you mention a job?
Indeed, one very much in your line. I know a collector in Vengerberg. He pays well for all kinds of monster-related curios.
Ericus venom? Necker hearts? Sounds doable.
Harpy feathers.
Uh-huh. Why feathers?
I never asked. Got the order and that's that. Interested?
What kind of coin are we talking about?
Why don't we do a test? Bring me a bundle of fine feathers for which I'll pay you, and if we're both satisfied, we'll figure things out.
He's gonna want more than a bundle? That'll mean a lot of traipsing around.
A few more, yes. So?
I'll keep my eyes open, but no promises. I've got more important things to deal with.
Where are you headed?
You'll find...
Well, I'll be plowed by a ferret.
Yeah. Witcher Geralt of Rivia.
Ah, you're a witcher like any other, but those swords, things of beauty.
Nothing special about them.
Ah, you're mistaken. Few know how to make a silver blade today, fish eat me if I'm lying, and engraving runes is not exactly farting down a rain spout. I wouldn't mind a closer look at your swords. Care to browse through my wares?
At your service. At your service.
I wouldn't mind a... I wouldn't... I wouldn't mind...
I'd like to play dice.
No, go. I'll play you once I know you've beaten the innkeeper and Cecil.
You associate with sorceresses?
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A charming expression. Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit. And she's learning along the way. It's convenient, and except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
How is it that King Radovid's court sorceress and advisor is supporting rebellion in Edirn?
This has grown into more than a simple rebellion, Witcher. Prince Stennis' arrival here confirmed Saskia's right to represent Edirn.
Saskia isn't fighting for Edirn, but for the Pontar Valley. Even Prince Stennis considers you rebels. He hasn't moved against you because war with Kedwen hangs by a thread. Why are you here, Sorceress of Tretogor?
It is my duty. If Henselt occupies the Pontar Valley, Redania and Temeria will respond strongly. The North will disintegrate, its unity gone. A dark scenario that is nevertheless avoidable, provided Saskia is successful and wins the Valley's independence.
Even if she thwarts Henselt, there'll be no independence without agreement from Redania and Temeria.
Temeria's expansionist plans melted away with Foltest's death. Redania's ruler is unpredictable, but even he'll have to respect a victory. I'm here to make this victory a fact.
Is what they say true? Did Saskia kill a dragon?
Prince Stennis decorated her for it at the court in Vengerberg, so it appears to be true. If you want to know the details, talk to Biggerhorn. Apparently he witnessed it.
Have you heard about a Witcher's school? Apparently the Viper's their sign.
No. Why do you ask?
The Kingslayer wears a medallion adorned with a viper.
Pretentious and childish for my taste. He can't be very smart.
A sorceress like you ought to know bundles about the wild hunt.
A sorceress's knowledge has nothing to do with superstitions.
The hunt's not a superstition.
True, the phenomenon seems to exist.
I want to know everything there is to know about it.
It's strictly atmospheric. It doesn't interest me. Just as whirlwinds, whirlpools, and snowfalls do not interest me.
At the council, you mentioned artifacts were needed to undo the curse.
But I can't look for them now.
I can do that.
Why?
I have my reasons. Tell me something. I'm good for now.
If you wanted to do... Remember the antidote for Saskia. It's very... What is it which...
Who is that?
Sit. It's... but you...
How?
If...
You...
to... I...
At the council? I can do that.
Why?
I have... What happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt attacked Edirne, but met his match. Nobody won that war. Sabrina Glefisig got into a conflict with the commander-in-chief of the Kedweni forces, and this led to both armies being routed. Fireballs turned the battlefield into a flaming tomb. Henselt accused Sabrina of using a forbidden weapon.
And Sabrina cursed Henselt.
I think so. I suspect the curse got out of hand because of the circumstances.
Circumstances? The stars weren't right, wrong phase of the moon. There's always an excuse for simple bungling.
She placed the curse while burning at the stake. Her hands and feet nailed to a wagon wheel. I'd say she did a good job, considering.
Know anything about blood curses?
Do you?
We're dealing with a 4th-level curse, also known as the Curse of the Archmistress.
Well, well, I'm impressed.
Thing is, until now I thought it was only a myth, that such a curse couldn't be cast.
You thought wrong. There are 6 confirmed cases of this curse being inflicted.
What about confirmed cases of it being lifted?
1. Achieved by a team of sorcerers led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear, hence the curse's other name. Sabrina Glefisig was on the team.
Small world.
That's not all. The curse investigated by Francesca and Sabrina was designed to end the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Kovir. They were cursed by Scarlet Rodalega, a complete madman, but very talented. An eclipse and wraiths also accompanied his curse.
So Sabrina's curse is just a knockoff Rodalega.
Exactly.
Can Francesca's experience help us?
Certainly. I know the symbols and the workings of the curse thanks to her.
Care to explain? I'm the one risking my neck.
You'll have to relive the battle and change its course at the right moment. I don't know exactly what will happen. Nobody does.
I'll look for those artifacts. Did you notice? Not all the ghosts were aggressive.
Yes. Most just disappeared when they touched the aura of a living person.
I think the curse corrupts the ghosts of the fallen and turns them into draugrs.
Is that the Witcher's professional name for wraiths?
Draugrs are demons of war. They arise at sites of exceptionally vicious, bloody battles. Their bloodlust and hatred in condensed form.
Can you kill them by conventional means?
A silver sword is enough for a draugr, but as long as the curse remains active, new ones will arise. The soldiers' ghosts are the key. If I could turn the tide of the battle...
For that you'll need symbols of war belonging to those who fell in battle. Hatred, death, courage, and faith. All artifacts must be magically active and connected to the fallen, or they won't lure the ghosts.
Right. I'll look around.
Finding 2 will be enough. Get the symbols of hatred and death and leave the rest to me.
I'd prefer courage and faith.
Don't fuss.
I'll see what I can do. Cecil seems to know a lot about the area. I'm good for now. I'll let you know when I learn something.
You wanted to discuss something?
I've found an immortelle.
Excellent. You wanted to discuss...
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him. You wanted to
I'm looking for Triss. Letho forced her to teleport near Vergen.
Letho?
Foltest's killer, perhaps Demavend's too. Will you help me find her?
Certainly. We sorceresses must stick together. We have too many enemies.
Triss contacted you through Sheila de Tanzerville's megascope while in Flotsam.
And I haven't heard from her since.
Can you locate her?
A megascope responds to a person's aura. If I had something of hers, I could find her. You were close to her. Maybe you have something.
No, I don't have anything.
Not good. Wait. A local drunkard claims he saw a redhead fall out of the sky. This could be a lead.
I never heard of flying women before.
Perhaps they're just drunken delusions. It's possible, however, that an unstable teleport ejected Triss near the town.
As it's our only lead, I'll talk to this drunkard. Do you know him?
I'm not used to associating with drunkards, but you'll likely find him in the inn.
Thank you.
Come back as soon as you learn anything.
I'll say it again. Humans are strange. Let's hear it. See, check everything. Whether the bride's been ploughed, has a dowry, is diligent. Yeah.
Saskia. No. Greetings.
Greetings.
Shove off!
Take that. This corpse is decomposed almost completely. This corpse is decomposed almost completely.
How many more can there be?
corpse is decomposed almost completely. Wonder how many more. This corpse is fresh. Someone brought it here recently. Clothing ripped in many places. Traces of sulfur. Interesting. The head's in far better condition than the rest of the body. Dark rings around the eyes, like an anemic. Just a few delicate bites on his neck. He's grasping a few long hairs in his hand. The forearms are cut up pretty badly, as if he had to defend himself. There's something embedded in the bone. I can't extract that without special tools. These wounds, they're ripped open. Whatever attacked him was ferocious. Fingernail marks all over his back. At least he had some fun before he died. A book. Your body sizzled beneath my gentle caress. Sounds like Master Dandelion. He was young, just like the others. All the clues seemed to indicate a succubus. this.
Greetings. I've killed Rivians before.
Hello there.
Kedmil.
Greetings. What are you doing out here this late?
Thinking
About what?
about the approaching fight.
As long as the mist of wraiths is up, there won't be a fight.
I ponder something else. We women must leave the shadows. When fighting, we're equal to men. But off the battlefield,
Women are no warriors.
we do everything the men do, and as well as they do. Gender doesn't determine ability.
You know why men command armies? Because they don't waste time on idle chatter. We could argue all night about the injustice of it, but until you show you can get something done, saying that you can won't change much. It won't be easy, but you could try to blaze a trail.
A worthy endeavor in itself, I know. Thank you, Witcher. Godspeed.
Everything all right?
Greetings, Gwynblade.
What could Philippa want? Why does she care about Vergen being free, independent?
Like all sorceresses, she likes to dabble in politics. Not one of them would hesitate to sacrifice another life if it furthered their goals.
Quite a one-sided opinion. All? None? Life's rather colorful. It's not all black and white.
Shades of grey, I think. I have no illusions about mages. You know the fate which the Queen of the Valley of Flowers reserved for the Alvan youth. Enid Anglina, known also as Francesca Finderbear, another sorceress. In exchange for the creation of an Alvan kingdom in Dol Blathanna, she sent the Scoia'tael to be butchered, while attacking Nilfgaard's foes from the rear. She had a chance to call it off. She could have opposed the Emperor of Nilfgaard and summoned the squirrels to defend the Valley of Flowers.
Why didn't she?
In the name of a higher purpose. It's what the Emperor wanted. That's why we became bandits after the war. That's why elves are dying, our young murdered by the likes of Roach. And that's why I cannot trust Philippa Eilhart.
Roach could be on the other side of the fog.
In that case, I'll finally get him. I came close in Flotsam.
Been after him for a while?
Ever since he became leader of the Blue Stripes. During his first mission as commander, he ambushed one of my units, cut it down to the last elf. Surprised me for the first and last time. I've been more cautious since then.
So it's a personal matter. Vengeance. A theme straight out of Dandelion's ballads.
The safety of the Scoia'tael demands his death. Of the commanders first appointed to such units, he's the only one still alive.
I noticed there's no Temerian emblem in your collection.
We should not claim something's done when it is not.
You do realize that a dozen others will replace him when he's gone. Possibly dirtier foes, possibly worse.
Better to have a known enemy, you say? That doesn't apply to Vernon. A more determined demon has never walked upon this earth. The longer he is active, the better he gets. I must put an end to it.
Tell me about this Dwan for whom the Scoia'tael are ready to do battle.
Saskia. She's no Dwan. Certainly not like the others. You've seen her. I doubt I need to explain.
She's fighting for a Pontar Valley for dwarves, elves, and humans alike. I thought you despised humans.
I may only be a warrior, but I'm no fool. This is the best we can hope for now, and it's better than the Valley of Flowers.
I once met another Scoia'tael leader.
Yavin. I knew him. He had beautiful dreams and desperately wanted me to share them. Asked the same of you, I heard.
You know a lot about me.
I try to know as much as I can. About everyone.
I'm a witcher. I remain neutral. I didn't take his side.
Perhaps that is the correct attitude. Let things run their course. It's worse if we then wonder what could have been had we acted differently.
I try to avoid that. Decisions should be evaluated before they're made, not after.
How is it that we're on the same side today?
Things change. Today I have different goals and different allies. Have you ever been to the Valley of Flowers?
Dol Blathanna is nothing more than a vassal state of the Nilfgaardian Emperor. They call it the land of free elves, but the Scoia'tael are not welcome. It's another in a string of painful lessons. But a free Pontar Valley could change that. It's been 5 years since the kingdom was established in Dol Blathanna. Over 2,000 elves have settled there. Do you know how many children they've produced? A dozen or so. It's no longer the Valley of Flowers. It's the Valley of Sterile Elders.
I'd love to see you tell Francesca that. Anything new about Letho?
No, but I wager he's somewhere on the other side of the fog. I can feel it.
You think you can repel Henselt's army?
No.
What do you mean, no?
The fortifications and dwarven devices are simply not enough to hold off the Kedwenis. They are just too many.
What do you plan to do?
You'll see. One thing I can promise. I won't break any pledge I've made.
You haven't had a chance to explain yourself. Your alliance with Letho. This is a good time.
I suppose I owe it to you, Geralt. I don't know who they are exactly, nor who they're working for. I met Letho 2 months ago. He had escaped his pursuers in Edirn, found me and suggested we trade services. Our scouts and forest hideaways in exchange for the heads of Foltest and Henselt. A good offer to begin with that only became better when we revealed only part of our secrets. It then turned out that Letho was not alone. Serret and orcs were meant to kill Henselt. My warriors were to help them. As you know, this never came to pass.
And you, my love, do you trust the girl?
But I trust you.
Nothing good in store for us. Nothing good. You associate with sorceresses?
Greetings. Greetings.
Huh?
Hello, Witcher.
Pray tell, what compels you to disturb the Prince of Edirn, Witcher?
I have a few questions.
And you believe I should answer them instead of setting my dogs on you?
I think your Royal Highness has enough foes. Here, abroad, in Vengerberg.
The intricacies of succession are not something I wish to discuss with an itinerant monster slayer.
Succession is the topic of choice in about every inn in the country. I don't know for sure, but I think the hangman of Vengerberg was the last to claim the throne.
My patience has its limits, and at present, only my respect for Lady Saskia restrains my anger. Come to the point, or leave me be.
Saskia's body is extremely resilient. She'll recover soon.
I heard the poison was deadly. How could the girl survive so long?
Toxins can lose their potency, and this is hardly the first time Saskia's demonstrated an iron will. Besides, magic might be at play.
Magic?
I'll explain once I've confirmed it. I'm trying to figure out where this fog came from. What exactly happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt's mages committed mass murder. A dark day for the knighthood and all people of honor. But it was honor that allowed us to survive. There was no defeat, no victory. Honor stood against wickedness, virtue against black magic.
You took part in that battle?
My father stayed in the capital. He was to defend Vengerberg. I took to the field. I wanted to stop Henselt before he crossed the Pontar, but I was too late. So I decided to await him at Vergen. Henselt's army was exhausted. We would have triumphed if not for that heinous act. Henselt had mages with him, and they cast a treacherous spell on the entire battlefield. A fiery rain fell from the heavens. Destructive, murderous embers which brought the battle to an end. I gathered the few survivors and withdrew deep into the country. The soldiers were terrified, but Henselt showed no desire to pursue.
Only a master mage could have cast such a powerful spell, and I suspect he could not have accomplished it alone.
I remember Sabrina Glevesig. Through the flames I saw her observing the carnage from her mount, dressed in a hunting suit. Straight-backed, dispassionate.
Sabrina. If I remember correctly, she's Henselt's advisor.
Was. Henselt condemned her to death for casting that spell. The Kedwenis roasted in their armor, just the same way the Edirnians did. You know what struck me when all hell broke loose? What I found astonishing and even amusing? Going into battle, we sang our Edirnian songs. They intoned their Kedweni hymns to Creve. But when fire descended from the sky, our cries of pain were no different. We all wailed as humans. For an instant, the magnitude of the tragedy brought together our two warring nations.
I still have no idea where the spectral fog came from.
I'm afraid I don't know either.
You might be surprised, Prince, but I have more political experience than I'd like.
The famous Geralt of Rivia, invited to the table by Calanth, Foltest's little favourite. I've heard you've even parleyed with the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Think I'm impressed? Calanth is dead. Meve curses your name when she hears it. Foltest was murdered before your very eyes, and the Emperor, as I heard it, he thought you insignificant.
Are you going somewhere with this?
Indeed. You should know that a king sometimes needs a hired thug to take care of dirtier deeds. If the thug is naive enough, instead of reaching into his purse, the king buys him with virtuous words, the flash of his rings, pledges of friendship. And when, having done his deed, the thug departs, swaggering proudly like a peacock, the king discreetly giggles. Truly, I never thought you could be so pitiful. Get out! Get out! Get out! Pray tell.
I have it.
And you...
I think...
The...
I need royal blood.
As you know, I've yet to be crowned.
But blood of your royal ancestors flows through your veins.
True, but that doesn't mean I'll shed a drop for some vagabond. Are you a witcher or a vampire?
I need it to save Saskia.
I need you to live. Don't bother me with such audacious proposals.
Be well, Prince.
That's a witcher, not a human.
Witcher. So, no snaps?
Saskia needs help, Cecil. Philippa can produce an antidote, but she needs a magic artifact to do that.
Would you like a fern and a dancing worm to go with it? Listen, I don't know about magic, but there is a place, as long as I can remember, it's been of interest to sorcerers. They say it's a very strong intersection. Look for magic there.
Where exactly is there?
Seek out the ruins in the forest beyond Bergen. There's a place of power there. You can't miss it. Why so glum? Saskia's a tough girl. She'll bounce back. Keep your head up.
Thanks, Cecil.
No, Witcher. I thank you. Save that lass, and you'll save my town.
Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old cook insult, called king by some, thought that Adernians were bumpkins who'd ship bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edern?
According to Henselt, Upper Edern is the ancient legacy of the Kedwenny crown and must be returned to the mother country. Brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crap. 700 years ago, the elves reigned here, and 1,000,000 years ago, these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighboring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right. Hensel wanted to conquer Upper Edern. What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want.
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Eternians, Kedwenny, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen, a beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot. When Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent the Dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Edern at all. We decimated the Dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kidwennies gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armour. Then Vandegrift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Vandegrift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Aedirnian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead. They say it was the doing of a Kidwenny sorceress who wanted revenge on Vandegrift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontar the third day after the autumn equinox. Edirn had good spies, so we were ready for them, and Seltkirk lined up our troops along the hills. Our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersberg and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights and armoured infantry side by side in our ranks. Even the peasants had their regiments. The dwarves were on the left flank. Over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or background, like never before. Only King Demavend was missing, but he must have had more important business than defending his country.
You saw the Kidwennies cross the river?
From afar. I saw Vandegrift leading 4,000 heavily armed men. Many a heart sank when we saw the elite bearheads or the armoured banners from Ardcarrig. The Dun banner was in the middle, veterans of Brenna. As soon as he set foot on Aedirnian land, Vandegrift climbed a hill and surveyed the area, as if it was his fief. Son of a bitch was as sure of himself as ever. Upon spying him, I remember the dwarves all dropped their trousers and showed him their asses. Then Seltkirk stepped out in front of us. His white armour shone in the sun. We were afraid a Kidwenny arbalist would shoot him, but they too stood as if frozen, and Seltkirk just looked at them and bowed ever so slightly.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitors sent them to their deaths, refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers. Killed a lot of our lads, but for every Dunner, there were 7 Aedirnians. They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard. Did you see the duel between Seltkirk and Vandegrift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once, at a jousting tournament in Ardcarrig. Seltkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Seltkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Vandegrift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Seltkirk with that new sword.
Vandegrift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing too. Only her hand can tame the hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake of Seltkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbled something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
Thanks, Cecil, that was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhard claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Vandegrift's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
Here's hoping you're right.
I'd like to play dice.
Shall we? I'll have to raise taxes. Here are your winnings.
Aren't you going to ask for a rematch?
You're too good. Try Haggard or Smith's apprentice.